If you're a high achieving woman who overthinks every interaction at work, with friends, and especially in romantic relationships or in situationships, this video is for you. Over the next few minutes, I'll break down why overthinking in relationships is totally normal for high achieving women. I'll share specific actionable tools to find relief immediately, and I'll share exactly how to rewire your mind and body to break this pattern at the root, to find real freedom from overthinking, and to never lose yourself or settle in relationships ever again. Real quick, I'm Tiff, a veteran, ex-CIA, recovered management consultant, and entrepreneur. I chased emotionally unavailable women and failed miserably at relationships and situationships for decades. I've always been a high achieving badass, but I was not able to be successful in relationships, although I was a total baddie in my career. Because therapy, 87 self-help books, meditation retreats, and waving magical glitter dusted feathers under a full moon did not help me break these unhealthy patterns in relationships, I had to build my own solution. I took 8 years full-time and over $45,000 to build a system to break these patterns on my own. Now, I never overthink in relationships. I never settle. I feel at peace and fulfilled in all of my relationships, and I feel at peace and fulfilled in my own life. Now I teach powerhouse women how to heal unhealthy relationship patterns and specifically anxious attachment in just 3 months. I am not your typical fluffy healer. I am obsessed with proven systems, frameworks, clear milestones, measurable results, and an actual finish line. In other words, when you work with me, you become your own damn guru. You won't need to rely on a therapist or another healer ever again. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about why overthinking in relationships is totally normal for high achieving women. Here's the deal. 75% of high achieving women came from troubled homes. By troubled homes, I mean one or both parents were not emotionally available. Therefore, we can conclude that this child between the ages of 6 and 10 did not get the love, attention, and approval that they needed. Because of this child had to learn how to look outward to hustle for love, attention, and approval. What the adaptation actually looks like is that when that child isn't receiving the love and the attention and the approval that they need during that core developmental phase between 6 and 10, the adaptation looks like being the good girl, being quiet, being perfect. Stuff all feelings down. We can't inconvenience anyone with feelings. Also, many of them have to take care of their siblings or their parents by doing things and also being an emotional crutch. What that also looks like, they don't want to be a burden. They learn to overachieve. They learn to be really resourceful, independent. They just get shit done. This pattern of hustling for love, essentially looking externally and doing any song and dance so that I can get scraps of approval, attention, and love, this exact pattern makes you wicked successful in your career. You learn how to get things done and be successful. However, it makes you really struggle in relationships. When you were a child and you weren't getting the love that you needed and deserved, when you adapted, you learned to overthink. You learn to be hyper vigilant and anticipate what other people wanted and needed so that you could get that attention and approval. And I say attention and approval, but in some cases, you had to do those things to stay safe, physically, mentally, emotionally. So these adaptations were all due to not getting the love you needed and deserved between the ages of 6 and 10. So your love operating system looks like looking outward to earn love versus standing in your truth and simply being worthy of love. You learn that love is doing and being there for others. What that turns into in adult life is self-sacrifice and people pleasing. And it's this strong disconnection from self. So it's very common for my clients in their 40s and 50s to say, I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't know. I don't know what I need, what I want, what I desire out of relationships or out of life. Because between 6 and 10, they learn to disconnect from their needs. There was no place for their needs. I have to look outwards to take care of other people's needs. This love operating system was perpetuated for decades. And so overthinking in relationships is caused by this external seeking of approval. Now, that pattern is hardwired, not just in your mind, but in your body. When that child between the age of 6 and 10 didn't get the love they needed and they felt stress and angst in their body, think about the nervous system. We either go into fight, flight, or freeze mode. Oftentimes, when that child is in the household not getting the love they needed, their body reacts to that. So they didn't fight the tiger when they were under that threat. They didn't run from the tiger. They went into survival mode. What that feels like in the body is this angst, these bricks in the chest, almost like this electric feeling of angst kind of running through the body, a lump in the throat, and often a pit in the stomach. So love was hardwired into the mind and body to be self-sacrifice, people-pleasing, external seeking, and these feelings in the body. Over time, decades of survival energy builds in the body. And when the body is in survival energy, imagine a foot on the gas and on the brake at the same time, like your body has all this energy. When the body feels unsafe, when it's stuck in survival energy, the mind takes over. This blew my mind. When I was ruminating on relationships, does she like me? Is that person going to text back? Was I too much? Was my hair too big? Am I too intense? When I was ruminating and constantly stuck in my head, I thought that my brain was broken. What I learned is that when the body feels unsafe, the brain takes over and tries to create safety. And so what's keeping you stuck in overthinking is the body being stuck in survival energy. Now, this isn't something you can just release by going for a run. This has to be released with specific somatic techniques in order for the body to feel safe so that the mind can finally feel at peace and stop overthinking. So it is totally normal to be stuck in your head, overthinking every relationship and every interaction. All right, let's take action. I'm about to give you the 5 strategies to find relief from overthinking relationships immediately. Number 1 is awareness. Awareness meaning you are now aware of this pattern. You are aware that you are hardwired to look externally, to people please, and to look at other people's needs and wants and desires more than you are hardwired to consider your own needs. You are disconnected from self because that was a pattern that was built between the ages of 6 and 10. Said more simply, the bigger the trigger in your body, the deeper the root. Meaning it was how you learned to earn love between the ages of 6 and 10. So the big feelings in your body, I mean this with love. It's really not about them. It's not about this ex. It's not about this specific coworker that's getting under your skin. It's about the love, attention, and approval that little you didn't get between the ages of 6 and 10. So having that awareness is power. When you feel triggered, I want you to say to yourself, this big feeling in the body, this person not texting me back, it's not about them. It's about little me needing the love, attention, and approval that she never got. Step 2, you are going to love little you. I want you to imagine little you between the age of 6 and 10. I want you to imagine when you first felt that feeling, the big trigger that we were just talking about, or when you feel lonely, when you feel angsty, when you're overthinking relationships. Think about that feeling in the body. And I want you to think about when the first time was that you likely felt that between the age of 6 and 10. Now, you may say, this is very common, I don't remember anything, Tiff. You do, but your mind and body is protecting you. Now, sit with this feeling in the body and see what you can remember. I don't want you to replay every detail. Just think vaguely. My parents were fighting in the living room. I felt that in my body. I felt the angst in my chest, the lump in my throat. So I want you to see little you between the age of 6 and 10, and I want you to ask her, what kind of love do you need in this moment? I want you to keep it simple and jovial. Keep it light. We don't have to be super woo and spiritual, like heal your inner child. Just imagine little you between 6 and 10, lonely as fuck, sitting there going, I'm scared and I'm lonely. And you're going to go, what do you need, little lady? Do you want to go out for ice cream? Do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to go work out? Like, do you want to paint by number? Like, what would feel good for you right now? So, when you feel these feelings in the body, I want you to picture little you standing on a soapbox going, I need love. And you're going to look at her and go, I'm with you. I got you, girl. What do you want to do right now? Step 3, stop trying to read minds. To find relief, we have to trust that the people around us will say something if something is wrong. We can spend our whole lives up in our heads trying to anticipate what someone else needs, what they want, what they desire, how we can help them. It is an inside job to be happy and fulfilled. When you're thinking about someone else, trying to read their mind, make sure that they're happy, make sure that they're good, that's a lot of ego. Like, you think you can make someone else happy? You think you can tend to all of their things and ensure that they are good to go and fulfilled and everything is great with them? No, happiness and fulfillment are inside jobs. We have to do that on our own. So, your greatest gift to the world is not trying to fix everything or do everything for everyone else. Your greatest gift to the world is you being in your power. You worrying about your own feel good state, showing up as your magnetic, loving, present as fuck self, and oozing your soul vibes, oozing your good vibes on other people. It's not up to you to make other people happy, and you could never do that. There's no point in trying because it is an inside job. And so for me, when I think about relationships and wondering what my partner wants, what she needs, I just think to myself, she'll tell me if she needs something. I trust that she is in her truth, and she also trusts that I am in my truth. What this looks like, I'm thinking of a specific example. Do you know when you make plans with a friend, or maybe somebody you're dating, you're like, oh yeah, like maybe we could go to the movies tomorrow night and get dinner, but like if you're too busy, and I know you have a long week at work, if you're too busy, like we don't have to. Don't give people the out. Trust that they are in their truth. Hey, I'd love to go to the movies tomorrow. Are you into it? That's it. Trust that people in your life will be in their truth and tell you what they want and need, because you spending time anticipating it takes you out of your own good vibes and your energy. Love equals being extremely present and being in the practice of love, not chasing your squirrels, not chasing your thoughts, trying to anticipate everyone else's needs. That brings me to number 4. Be the love that you seek. Love means you are showing up as your best self every day. Your job is to feel good. That is your greatest gift to yourself and your greatest gift to every single person that you are in a relationship with, and every single person that crosses paths with you. Love is showing up as your best self. In addition to that, it's being in the practice of love. The practice of love looks like being regulated, calm, present, all in the moment. Wherever your feet are, you are all in. And so when I'm with someone else and I'm being the love that I seek, and I start to think, does she like me? Was I too much? Am I being too intense? Is my hair too big? When my squirrels start to do this, I think to myself, shit, I can't love her if I'm chasing squirrels. The practice of love is me being all in. And at the end of the day, everyone that I come across, I want them to feel deeply seen and heard. And the only way to do that is to get over myself. Stop chasing these squirrels. I am not my squirrels. So when I see a squirrel zip by, I choose to not engage with that little bugger. I come back to the moment. I'm going to see and hear you. I'm all in. I want this person to feel my love with my energetic practice, being all in the moment and deeply seeing and hearing someone. That is the practice of love. And so at the end of the day, when we're overthinking relationships, we just simplify it. It's showing up as my best self and being in the practice of love. That's all I have. That's my best effort. And if I do that every day, I am at peace. If you don't like me and I'm being my full self and I'm being present in the moment, we weren't meant to vibe. The more I am me, the more I will attract people that match with me. And also, if we feel so much about feeling loved, being accepted in relationships, we have to give that to other people. And so, by being the love that I seek and being in the practice of love, I trust that I will attract other people like that. Number 5, rock out the flip. Meaning, when you have an interaction with someone and you walk away and you're thinking, oh God, I hope they liked me. Was I too much? Did I overshare? Flick those squirrels away. It's so common that high achieving women who had to look externally for love worry about whether the other person likes them way too damn much. I want you to flip it. Instead of saying, do they like me? I want you to ask yourself, did I like them? Did I feel deeply seen and heard? How was that interaction for me? When you walk away from an interaction, ask yourself, do I like them? Flip the script. Stop focusing on whether they like you. You can't control that. You showed up as your best self. You were in the practice of love with them. So now just think, did I like them? Consider on a 1 to 10 scale, did I feel deeply seen and heard? Operationally speaking, they're present. They're all in. They're in the practice of love. They ask you a question, they listen. Then they ask you another question. They listen more. And then imagine they ask you another question. To deeply see and hear someone is immense curiosity and presence. So ask yourself, did I feel those things? And also, like I said before, be very tuned into, am I being these things? Am I being the love that I seek? All right, now let me be clear. I just went over 5 steps to find immediate relief, but you really need to rewire this pattern at the root to stop overthinking relationships for good. To do this, you need a specific process to break that unhealthy relationship pattern, to essentially heal anxious attachment and that adaptation that was formed between the age of 6 and 10. Like I said before, I spent 8 years full time and over $45,000 struggling in relationships, chasing emotionally unavailable partners, stuck in my head 80% of the time. I was embarrassed. I was so frustrated. So I had to build a healing roadmap on my own that actually worked. There is a huge miss in the self-help industry. The self-help industry is extremely focused on cognitive modalities. You may be sitting here thinking, I've struggled in relationships for decades with overthinking, overgiving, settling. I am borderline hopeless. I've done it all. I want you to ask yourself, did the modalities that you tried focus on your head, or did they focus on your body, or did they focus on both? You just learned that this problem is hardwired into your mind and body because your body went into survival mode between the ages 6 and 10. And because your body thinks it's unsafe, then you're overthinking. So you can see how it's necessary to have a system to rewire your mind and body, to bring your brain back into the present moment, to reconnect your brain with your body, to discharge the survival energy from your body so that your body feels safe, so that your brain can actually feel at peace and turn off from that hyper-vigilant survival mode, people-pleasing BS. So if you're thinking, I've done it all, ask yourself, have I had a system? And did all of those modalities focus on my brain? Because if you're stuck in your head 80 to 90% of the time, what the hell is putting another self-help book in your head going to do? What is talking about it going to do? You are talked out and you've been overthinking. You cannot overthink your way out of this pattern. Now, the exact process that I take my clients through to essentially stop looking externally for love, attention, and approval, and to flip the script to feel worthy and full of love and just love from within. That exact process only takes 3 months. The process looks like this. Number 1, you got to train your focus. We can't do the work if you're stuck in your head 80% of the time. That would be like getting in a car, taking a road trip across the Midwest with 20% of the windshield scraped off. We're not going to get a lot done. So first, you got to train your focus to be in the present moment because the brain is doing brainy things. Your amygdala is 2/3 focused on what could go wrong. So your amygdala is looking at the past, shooting on yourself. Should have done that differently. Shouldn't have said that. And your amygdala is also looking at the future. What if I never find the one? What if I'm not perfect? What if I say the wrong thing? And so we have to train our focus to be in the present moment to do the work. Next, you have to release some energy from the nervous system. If you're in complete angst, again, it's really hard to do the work. After that, I take my clients through a cognitive rewrite where we take just 15 minutes, that's all, 15 minutes and we dip into the past. We find where that big feeling that you experience in relationships when you're highly triggered now, we figure out exactly where that came from. When we go to that moment where it came from, we recognize, meaning reinterpret the situation as an adult. We honor that little you was brilliant. We honor that little you who had to shrink her needs, shrink her feelings, overachieve, people please. We honor that she was fucking brilliant. But that old operating system where I have zero needs to get scraps of love, that's outdated. We have to write a new one cognitively. After the cognitive rewrite, that's when we roll into the somatic release. Because if we just do those things, you're going to be pushing a rock up a hill. When things really open up is when you release the survival energy from the nervous system. Again, that signals to your brain, we're safe. I can take a break. And so when you do that, breaking these patterns becomes simple. So all the work I do with my clients is preparing you for that release and that process to where you have a deep reverence and respect and can release the survival energy from your nervous system. Now, the way we do that, you learn the most profound tool to release survival energy from the root. You literally elicit the response from the brainstem. Now, this modality is absolutely mind blowing and incredible because you are the guru of this modality, meaning you don't need a practitioner to do this with. You are in control of your healing and you are the guru of this modality. You go at your pace. Your pace is perfect. So it feels peaceful. It actually feels good. You don't even need to talk about the past and ruminate in the past. And so I love this modality because you don't have to sift through the muck and you are your own guru and it is completely peaceful. Then when you come out of the cognitive rewrite, the somatic release, you kind of have Bambi legs. You have this new level of consciousness and presence, but you need to rewire your daily actions. Meaning, instead of looking externally and putting everyone else first, you have to learn specific tools and frameworks to identify your needs, your desires, your deal breakers at work, in relationships, in your life. And then you need to take specific actions to put yourself first every single day to show up at your best. And you have to learn how to put yourself first in relationships because that's love, and put yourself first in your career because showing up at your best is also love in your career. Now, the clients I work with, they get this. They're like, oh, yeah, my best self is my greatest gift to the world. The sticking point is they don't know how to navigate relationships with themselves as a priority. And so you need tools and tactics on how to put yourself first, how to have difficult conversations, how to ask for what you want and need with love. You need confidence and tools that you can put yourself first with ease, with love, and without all that guilt. Now, if you want to learn more about the specific methodology, measurable results, my clients' results, go ahead and drop down into the caption and snag the masterclass. All right, you have the tactics to work on overthinking in relationships now, and you understand how to heal the pattern at the root. Let me be real and even more direct with you. At this point, to build healthy and fulfilling relationships and to finally feel at peace and fulfilled, you have two choices. One, continue to play healing whack-a-mole. Work on only your brain by going to talk therapy and reading books. Or just jump around and use different modalities with zero structure to truly rewire your mind and body in your daily actions. Or number two, you invest in a real system to heal this pattern at the root with a roadmap, milestones, measurable results, and support one-on-one with me every step of the way. Now, again, I'm not your typical healer. I'm not your guru. I'm a tenacious, lifelong learner obsessed with systems, clear frameworks, measurable results, and a clear finish line so that you can heal for sure and do it fast while actually loving the process. And it only takes 20 minutes per day. I created a masterclass that breaks down my proven method in more detail, client results, and you can also apply to see if we are a fit to work together. If you're a high achieving woman who's tired of overthinking, settling, and struggling in relationships, go ahead and snag the masterclass below. All right, I know you're an action taker, so here's the deal. When you deploy these tactics, these strategies for immediate relief, I would love to know about it. Slide on over to Instagram, slide into my DMs. I answer those personally. Let me know if you have questions or if you just want me to celebrate that you are rocking out these strategies. Come on over there. I would love to hear from you. And until then, enjoy the rest of your day.